Are you sick and tired of losing your gunfights to better players? Well, in today's video, I will show you guys how to set up your finger claw setup and some tips and tricks along the way to make you a better player. You'll be able to do a lot with 3 or 4 fingers, like aiming down sight while moving, jumping or sliding while aiming down sight, and much more. This will help you in the long term in your own gameplays and make you a stronger and better player. So before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel and check out my second channel called Jokesta Clips. This way you guys get better tips and tricks and amazing gameplays to study from. Step number 1, hand placement for your phone. Make sure you start off with an overview how you will be holding your phone or tablet. You want to make sure that you're holding your phone or tablet in the right position. You want to make sure that your hands are firmly in position because this will affect you in the long term if you positioned it in the wrong way. It will be very hard to fix later on, but if you correctly adjust your device to your hand position, this will help your hand feel more relaxed and your fingers will adjust to the claw easily. As you guys can see, my fingers are hovering over the screen. It's actually stretched out and it's not in a C shape. You actually want to make sure you stretch out your fingers to have a straighter line. That way you won't damage your fingers later on. Step 2, pay close attention to your thumbs. As you guys can see, a lot of thumb players play like this, and many players play like this. So you really have to figure out how do you want to do this. Now, I used to play with 6 fingers back in the day on my phone, and I had my phone flat out on the table. Now I had to play with my thumbs being sideways, and it was really uncomfortable, but I've learned and managed to be good with it. But what was the problem? Well, after a few weeks, my thumbs started to feel a lot of pain and my fingers didn't feel great at all. So I went back to the 4-finger claw setup and I stayed that way ever since. So when you're playing, make sure you have your thumbs placed in a way that you're comfortable with it. And I highly recommend you guys doing the lay flat of the thumb for better playstyle. Now, not the tip of the thumb style, but I've learned that having your thumbs flat out on the screen equals to better aim, better feel, and your thumb is more relaxed. Step 3, we tend to try our best and sometimes we get hooked into the moment. So our palms touch the bottom of the screen, which makes us have these touch problems. I highly recommend you guys to get a case for your phone or make sure that you not touch the screen with your palms. Another tip that I would like to share with you guys is some of our phones offer a corner touch disable while we play. Like the iPhone has guided access and the Red Magic 7S has something like that too. I highly recommend you guys to look into it because sometimes it feels like our screen does something on its own while we're playing and it just grows our frustration. And I would personally get mad when something touches my screen and I'm like, how the hell am I looking down or up or sideways? Nobody's touching that. I didn't mean to do that. And sometimes we don't know why, but I've studied this and I realized that our palms accidentally touch something and it makes all of our aim go crazy. Step 4. Now, I've been playing mobile games for a very long time, and to be real with you guys, I've been playing for more than 10 years, and mobile games have been a big part of my life. For a very long time, I've learned that our hands have a lot of sweat when we play against harder players. We tend to play for more than 2 hours a day on average, and we spend more than 6 hours a day on our phones, browsing stuff, doing stuff, right? So our phones get dirty and it tends to get stickier some days. So imagine this. You're playing on a dirty phone and then you get up to wash your hands or you go get something to eat, you wash your hands, and then all of a sudden you feel weird with your screen. It's because your thumb is clean and you're touching a dirty screen. All that dirt that is on your screen is going against your thumb that's giving that slow movement. So let's say that, well, why not clean the screen too? So now you clean your screen, you clean your thumb, and there's no grease in between, which makes it harder to move your thumb across now. So now you're stuck with a dilemma. You can now be like me 5 years ago, putting veggie oil all over the screen and it gives me that smooth feeling. Or you can use baby powder on your screen, and guess what? All of those options that I just listed, they damaged my screen in the long run. Now, whenever I needed to sell off my devices, I realized the screen at the bottoms would have these huge circly oil patterns that permanently damaged my screen. And whenever I put the screen protection over that, I would end up getting ghost touch while using oil or baby powder, and that was back in the day. I would have to use veggie oil every single day to keep my thumb slippery until I discovered something. I discovered a little glove that you can put on your finger, and we call those things the finger sleeves. Now, I went through a lot of them. The first one I got was these copper fiber sleeves, and those were scratching up my screen, by the way, and lasted only 2 days. They rip apart. and then I switched over to silver fiber sleeves, and those things also ruined my screen till I created the carbon fiber sleeves, and these were the best one on the market. I highly recommend you guys get yours today at the sxe.gg, or you can actually look underneath the video. There's my store there, because not only that the carbon fiber sleeves are the best, they also last you a long time. They last you probably a month or so. Let's say that you're a grinder and you play a game for maybe 6 to 8 hours a day. Now these bad boys will last you a whole month compared to other sleeves that would only last you 2 days if you of course play like 6 hours a day, but that's not it. These sleeves will also be consistent in your gameplay. Remember all that dirt that I was talking about earlier? Well, these will clean those dirt up and will give you that smooth free experience. But another tip to take a good care of these sleeves would to be wiping down your screen before you start gaming with these things on. Moving on to step number 5. Now that we got down to the basics and you got all your facts, it's time to start to figure out what do you want to do next. Do you want to start using 3 fingers claw, or do you want to actually use 4 finger claw? So I'm going to help you make that decision. I'm going to give you guys the pros and the cons of each setup. Starting off with the pros, using more fingers will help you become a better player. Your skill level will be much more effective. I used to have 6 finger claw, and let me tell you, that was a crazy experience, but most of the time I ended up using 2 fingers and 2 thumbs, and the extra fingers were pretty much useless. With 2 fingers and 2 thumbs, you can use your thumb for joystick and aim, and the other fingers on the left is my shooter or the ADS. The finger on my right has more stuff that I can operate with. I can jump, crouch, prone, and reload. Now using 1 finger and 2 thumbs, aka the 3 finger claw, this is a bit tricky. You can use the thumb to shoot, although you can't really hip fire as much. The cons are the more fingers on the screen, it's just harder to see. It's gonna take some time to learn this depending on your muscle memory, so at the end of the day, it's better to start off with 4 finger claw because it takes less time to learn, and plus all the top players in this game use 4 finger claw. Step 6. Adjusting your HUD to your claw. Depending on what you choose, the 3 finger or 4 finger claw, adjust your hand first and then adjust your fingers to that position. Then go to your settings for your HUD and select which preference you would like to shoot with. I write with my left hand, so I prefer to shoot with my left finger, so choose which side you want to shoot with. So the other finger, which is for me is my right finger, I would put crouch, prone, jump, aim, and reload. Now this will help you multitask while you're in a gunfight. Make sure to remind yourself every time to use your fingers for those jump shots. Step number 7, ADS or no ADS. Now this question pops up a lot from you guys. This is again your personal preference. I use both of them. I have 2 of them. One is the shoot button, the other one is the ADS, which is the aim down sight and shoot. So in other situations, I would just aim with my right finger and then click on the ADS to shoot on my left finger. But if I'm not aiming with my right finger and I'm just clicking ADS to shoot, now sometimes I would use the ADS to shoot and at the same time I would click the crouch while I'm running forward. This makes a sweet movement and it gives that shooting look, and it's also very effective. You may be wondering when to actually aim down sight or when to ADS shoot. Well, this is what you choose. For example, I would pre-aim down sight when clearing a room, or I'm pre-aiming stuff. But if there is a player that pops up right in front of me on my left finger, I would just click on ADS to shoot, and the right finger, it depends on the situation. I would adjust to what's happening. Sometimes I need it prone, or maybe I need to jump while aiming down sight and shooting. So the right finger would just click on the jumping or proning or crouching or whatever the situation is in front of me. Step number 8. Once you place your fingers to do all the shooting and the other task, you will be wondering what to aim with. Well, you have to use your thumb to aim. Make sure to watch my settings video, which will pop up in the cards tab on your right corner. I talk about the basic settings, and this way your finger won't bother your thumb aiming problems. So make sure to adjust your thumb, and once that's in place, you should be able to aim with your thumb. And no, you do not need to use your fingers to aim. Just make sure to use your fingers to do the shooting and your thumb to do the aiming. Step 9. A tip to remember that this is a short-term thing. You will get used to it in like a week. This shouldn't be too hard. Once you get used to this, you'll be doing so much better, and you just need to accept the fact that this is a new thing and you will be frustrated for a while. Now, once your fingers get used to it, you'll be a star in every match you play. A thing to remember is that not a lot of people use claws. There's 70% of players that use thumbs to play, and the other 30% of players are using claws. So there's a big chances that you can do a lot better than those 70% of players that use thumbs only. So yeah, this is a good way to increase your skill level and get better. Step number 10, play a lot of free for all. Now, I highly recommend you guys to actually do this when you're adjusting to something new. Maybe it's a new settings to your sense, maybe it's a new device, whatever it is, make sure to start playing pubs so you can get used to it. This is something I personally made a mistake on. Usually there's something new in my gameplay, I would hop into a rank match and I would absolutely get destroyed by other players. Not only that this sucks, but it also destroys my confidence, and this will make it so much harder to adjust to your new settings. This is something I've learned the hard way. I wanted to share that with you guys so that you don't just hop into a rank match. You want to make sure to hop into a free-for-all and just try your best to get used to it before you try something even harder. Step 11 is to subscribe to this channel. Not only that you will continue getting amazing content, but you also will get some tips and tricks to learn them before anybody else finds out about it. My goal is to help you guys become better at this game. Another tip is to subscribe to my clips channel. That way you guys can see how I play, and watching pro players play will help you get better understanding on why they do some of these stuff and how to win gunfights. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, slap a like, comment down below, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Peace out.